So welcome to Benz Narrative. For this video, I'll be starting this series on the power of punctuations in the English language. And although I'll be talking about one or two other punctuation marks, such as the period, the em dashes, the question mark, the primary focus in this series will be to look at the power of the comma. The truth is, not a lot of people know that their inclusion or their exclusion of the comma can alter desired meaning generation in the English language. What I'm trying to say, in other words, is their inclusion or their exclusion of the comma can land you as a writer, as a student, as a teacher, as a user of the English language in a serious problem, in big problem. There are people who linguistically have landed in the gallows, people who have landed in the prison. Yes, why? Because they couldn't use the comma correctly or appropriately. Now, to start with, in this video, I'll be talking about three unique functions of the comma. The first will be to look at how the comma can alter, completely how it can alter the meaning of an English sentence construction. The second will be to look at the vocative power of the comma. And finally, we'll look at the participant multiplicity power of the comma. And to do that, we'll have two case studies to look at. The first expression is without the comma, while the second has the comma included. Let's get to it. First of all, the first case study says, "Don't fight my sister. Don't fight my sister." The second says, "Don't fight my sister. Don't fight my sister." Now, let's start with this. Don't fight my sister. As you can clearly see, this construction doesn't have the comma. And because it doesn't have the comma, it's pointing your attention to something. Let's get to it. Now, in terms of meaning, what is this sentence talking about? What is this construction talking about without the comma? Don't fight my sister. This is an instruction. An instruction to someone whose name is not mentioned, an instruction to a person, to a character, to a participant, not to do something, not to fight. And not just not to fight someone who is my sister in this case, right? So the first here, "don't fight my sister," is an instruction given to an individual by a speaker not to fight the speaker's sister. So it's an instruction not to fight somebody's sister, or an instruction not to fight the speaker's sister or sibling, right? Good. So that is what this construction means in terms of meaning. Do not fight my sister. Besides this, we have another hidden meaning in this construction. Don't fight my sister. Actually, this sentence supports the action or the act of fighting. This construction it encourages fighting indirectly. And I'm going to break it down. Don't fight my sister. This is not an instruction that the person being spoken to should not fight at all. No. This instruction is actually saying, you may fight someone else, you may fight that boy, you may fight these people, but do not fight my sister. Don't fight against my sister. Do not fight with my sister, or don't fight against my sister. Don't fight against my sister, but you may fight against other people. So in terms of meaning, this construction without the comma is indirectly saying, well, you may fight someone else, but my sister, right? So that's what this construction is talking about in terms of meaning without the comma, right? Now, in terms of, let's talk about two, or let's say two participants. In terms of participants, the participant character in this instruction. How many people do we have in this construction? The construction without a comma. How many people do we have in this instruction, in this construction? There are three people, three participating character, three participants in this construction. First, okay, let's say three people, three characters, right? Now, the first person is the speaker, the person giving or the person doling out the instruction. The person speaking, the speaker, that's the first. Number two, we have the person who is being spoken to, the person who receives the instruction. And number three, we have the person who is not to be fought, the speaker, the speaker's sister, and finally, the person who is instructed not to fight the speaker's sister. Three people. The person who is speaking is invisible, and that is the power of invisibility. The speaker is not visible, right? Good. The sister is visible. The speaker's sister is visible. Now, the person who is given instruction is invisible. So we have three people in this construct. I'm telling you not to fight my sister. My sister, you, and I, three people in here. So that is what this first sentence without the comma is about. That is what's about. Three participants, three characters, and then we have the first direct meaning, which is an instruction not to fight the speaker's sister, and then we have another vague meaning, which is an instruction, an encouragement for the recipient to to not fight the speaker sister, even though they may go ahead to fight other people. Now let's come to the second case study, which is the construction with the comma. Now, the presence of this comma here has altered the meaning of this expression, even though we have the same words, the same lexicon, the same words making up this construction. The meaning here has changed. Why? Because of the inclusion of the comma. The sentence reads, don't fight. Remember, the comma is a short pause, is a pause, a brief, a momentary pause, right? You stop a bit, then you continue for like a second. Don't fight my sister, right? Don't fight my sister. Here, don't fight my sister. The voice here is flat, it's monotonous. Here, the voice rises a little and then goes down here. Here, it all goes flat, right? Don't fight my sister. Now, with the presence of this comma, the instruction is clear. Don't fight my sister. Now, this here is an advice, not an instruction, although it can function, it might serve as an instruction, but it is an advice to someone, or to my sister, not to ever fight. Don't fight my sister. So in terms of meaning, right? This one is not just an instruction, it is an advice to not, or to never fight. This is an instruction to never fight. So this does not have a silent encouragement to the act of fighting. This is saying don't even fight. Don't try to fight it, whether it's your brother, whether it's your fiance, whether it's your colleague. Do not fight anyone. That is what this instruction is saying. Don't fight my sister. Don't fight my sister. Right? You're saying to someone, you're encouraging someone, you're advising someone, come on, fighting is not good. So my sister, do not fight. Right? My sister, now the full construction here is my sister, do not fight. That's the meaning, an advice to not or to never fight anyone. That is what this means. And that is only made possible with the presence of this comma, with the inclusion of the comma. Now, because of this comma, the participating characters have changed, have reduced. And the logic is simple. When you have the comma included in the construction, when the comma is included, the number of participants reduces. Now, when the comma is excluded, the number of participants expands. Here, we have 3 people. Why? Because we don't have the comma. And right here, we have the comma. Because we have the comma included, you have to reduce the participant characters by 1. So we have 2 people, 2 participant characters in this expression. Don't fight, my sister. Hey, my sister, come on, don't fight. So 2 people, the speaker and the recipient of the advice, the person who is being advised, this person. My sister in this case can be anybody, can be, of course, a female person, right? Who is close to you. Doesn't have to be your biological sister, could just be your neighbor. Hey, my sister, and this language, this sort of construct is common in Africa, right? Don't fight, anybody's a sister, as far as you have the same or you share the same color, right? So we have 2 people. In terms of character, I don't know if I'm still within frame. Let me check quickly. Okay, I'm still within frame. Right. In terms of participant characters, we have 2 people. The speaker, and the person who is being advised not to fight. So here, this second construct there's no pretense. It is not vague. Fighting is not something to be done by this person. This person is simply don't just fight. Don't fight, my sister. Fighting is bad. Here you have, don't fight, my sister. I'm giving you an instruction or warning not to fight against my sister, maybe over that issue, or maybe because my sister has done nothing wrong. I'm instructing someone else not to fight my sister. But here I'm simply speaking directly to my sister, and here is what we call vocative. The presence of the comma here has achieved what is called vocative in the English language. So most of the time when you see a comma that is preceded, that is followed, not preceded, that is followed by an object, the name of a person or just any nominal group, right? Or you have it being preceded, you have a comma being preceded by a nominal group or a noun, that is called vocative in the English language. What is a vocative? A vocative is a construction, is a frame of words, is a group of words that addresses a person, right? When you want to talk to somebody directly, you use vocative. For example, I say, greet Jane. Okay. I love you, Jane. You see, I love you, Jane. So this is what is called vocative in the English language. When you put a comma here, what this means is you're addressing this person directly. I love you, Jane. Jane, and what that means is Jane, I love you. Full stop. Easy. This is an example of vocative in the English language. When you want to address somebody directly, whether you want to mention the name, it's called vocative. And to do that, you must have a comma before, the vocative, right? So, don't fight, my sister. So this is an example of vocative in the English language. Remember, vocative is used when you want to directly address someone. I'm talking to you, Jane. I'm talking to you, Jane. You put, I'm talking to you, after that, you put comma, then you have Jane. That's vocative, where you say, Jane, I'm talking to you. Welcome, Dad. Welcome, Dad. Or Dad, welcome. That's an example of vocative, and that is what the presence of this comma is doing here. First of all, it has altered the meaning from here to what we have here, right? From what we have here to what we have here. The meaning has changed. And then in terms of the participant character, we have 3 here when you don't have the comma. And because of the presence of the comma, we have just the characters here. And then in terms of vocative, you have vocative when you have the comma being introduced before or before or after a nominal group. So that's basically for this class. And if anything, I want to believe that you've been able to learn one or two things about the power of the comma in the English language. And here is a quick spoiler. The next video will be about how the comma, the inclusion or the exclusion of the comma, can land you in the prison. And don't ask me how. Next time we're going to find out. Remember, I told you I want to keep my voice low because I've got sleeping neighbors, right? Sleeping neighbors. Thanks again. But if anything, remember to keep learning right and keep speaking right. And don't forget to share this video to as many people who may need it. See you next time.